Yes, guys, and welcome to the Bridge Side, where we are going to discuss everything Chelsea, transfers, injuries, any news, anything possible that is Chelsea. I'm going to do my best to cover it. So let's get straight into it. Let's discuss some transfers, shall we? We're all pretty excited. I don't know about you guys, but I will check transfers hourly because I am sad and I need to do that to make myself feel good. Now, let me run up some things to discuss. Now, we have all been misled, I think, with this whole Osimhen situation. Now, I don't know about you lot, but I get very annoyed when I hear Osimhen's name now because it's been thrown about so many times. You know, how many times are we going to hear Osimhen's name and then you hear about the wages that he's after and all that horrible bloody, oh, I want net was it 250 or something silly? Now, look, I get it. You can't even say he's proven because no player that's not played in the Premier League is proven. Um, we never see. I don't know if Karim Benzema ever played in the Prem. I'm pretty sure he didn't. I'd like to say he didn't, off the top of my memory. But would he have been as successful if he was at a Premier League team? I'd like to think so. Um, but yeah, with Osimhen, it's constantly this guy just wants money. And look, he would bag goals and he'd be a great prolific striker and he'd sell shirts. He's gonna fit the bill. He scores with his head. He scores goals and always scores goals. However, let's talk about this for a second, right? So, Al Hilal have put themselves in for Osimhen, and it's no shock that obviously Saudi are gonna go for him. So I'm gonna put up a thing here, and I'm just gonna read it out for you, right? Because obviously the Blues first attempted to sign Osimhen last summer in a transfer saga that dominated the near entirety of the window. Eventually, a move was not completed with the striker, rejecting a switch to the Saudi Pro League and time running out for Chelsea to complete the transfer. With most options exhausted, Galatasaray took advantage of the situation and signed Osimhen to a season-long loan deal. Now, this is what I don't understand. How Chelsea allowed Galatasaray to come and swoop him away, and for Osimhen to go there, I think was a very last-ditch attempt to play football because I think he wasn't wanted at Napoli and he needed to play somewhere, and I think Chelsea just would not pay that wage bill. And they tried to grab a loan regardless. Because you imagine if we got that loan deal through the door and had like an obligation to buy, you're winning. But now there's talks that he is going to snub Al Hilal and hopefully just wait for a last-ditch attempt to play somewhere else. Galatasaray looking at paying him a nice amount of money. I think we're not going to stop hearing Osimhen's name until the last week of the summer transfer window. I don't see him getting signed up anytime soon. I just see it being a case of he is going to wait out and hope that maybe a Premier League team gives, like a United, a Chelsea. But to be honest, mate, throw away your ego. Just come play for Chelsea. You'll be the full man. But obviously, now that we got Liam Delap, looks great in a Chelsea shirt, by the way. But hey, we'll talk about him later. Right. So, to be honest, I'm only ever going to talk about Osimhen if I feel like something's changed in the news. I don't see that happening, to be honest. I know a lot of you have been really frustrated because that is one player that I really wanted, along with the likes of Victor Gyökeres. But even he's gone quiet. And, feel free to drop in the comments what you think all his transfer stuff has been quiet. I personally believe he might be asking for too much money. Again, very prolific striker, scores a lot of goals. But please do leave me your opinions and hopefully we can have a little discussion on that one. Right, let's move on to the next one. Trevoh Chalobah targeted by Napoli with no guarantees over Chelsea future. I can't. If he goes again, the level of disrespect towards this player is mental. He has shown that he is him, right? Now, yes, he's still young, but he will put his body and soul on the line for this club. I mean, I wouldn't have that up on my wall if I didn't think I love this man, all right? Trev is by far Would I say he's my favourite defender? I think as a centre back, yes. And Levi's coming a long way, and I think he's starting to really show himself in the Premier League, especially within Chelsea, being that left-sided centre back. But yeah, Trev, man, you just got to feel sorry for him. I don't know if a lot of you knew this, but he actually gave up his shirt number. I'm pretty sure Felix took it, and apparently that number meant a lot to him. So to have your number stripped from you and then you get sent out to Crystal Palace, have an amazing time, get dragged back to Chelsea again to only be looked at as maybe like, look, you might be going again. I'd be fuming, especially as he's come up through the ranks. He's a brilliant, brilliant player. And it's not nice to see, is it? Now, on the other hand, if we do sign another centre-back, a Mark Gahey or the João Hato, who I won't lie to you, I have no idea who that is. Or apparently Diamande. Again, I know very little on this man, so maybe in another video, if talks carry on, I will go into more detail. I will do some research and I'll get back to you on numbers, stats, and where he fits and maybe will fit into Enzo Maresca's system. Again, I don't know. But yeah, would you want to be Trevoh Chalobah and be happy to be the number 2 as a right-sided centre-back? No. To be honest, I think Malo Gusto, as much as I like him, I think his passing and I think his ability has not been great as of recent. And, I'd love to say that he hasn't had much game time, but he has had game time. And you think about how injury-prone Rhys James has been, yet he's still the favoured player because, let's be honest, world-class. Unbelievable player and captain for this club. And I hope he has a great season and hopefully, fingers crossed, injury-prone. Not injury-prone. You know what I mean. No injuries, please. This man deserves a decent season. But yeah, Trev, man, I can't understand it. But yeah, mate, if it means he gets first team football every game and he is appreciated and treated correctly, then by all means, you go do you. And I'm sure a lot of us Chelsea boys will and girls will back you. And hopefully one day, maybe if you do leave, you'll come back. And that's what I'm hoping for. Right. On to the next one. Let's talk about Maignan. But I'm going to call him Maignan because let's be honest, that's what everyone calls him. Maignan to Chelsea transfer truth revealed as brutal 122 million decision already made. I hate these headlines because it makes no sense. Now, I don't know who watched Spain versus France yesterday, but this man let in 5 goals. He made some good saves, but he had a very poor rating. Now, I don't know if this is the mentality of let's put on a bad performance so that AC Milan let me go on a much cheaper deal, or is this what he's like? Now, if I pull up some statistics from Mr. Maignan, he's 187 centimetres. Don't ask me how tall that is. Don't know, but it's tall. Right. He looks as if he has an average rating of 6.94, which, let's be honest, is quite mid. That's not screaming to me insane goalkeeper. That's screaming to me average performances. But then, let's be honest, some goalkeepers are only as good as their defence, and vice versa. Right. Let's have a look. I'm going to whack these stats on the screen so you can see them too. Right. Save percentage, 99. Sorry. Apparently I just can't talk properly. Right, saves, 99. Now, I'm pretty goals conceded, 41. And he, what was it? He had, how many shots was it? All right, shots faced, 143. This gives you more small context. 143 shots, 99 saves. So a 70.7% shot save percentage, which, let's be honest, it's not bad. Acted as a sweeper, 24. High claim, 26. Errors led to goal, 2. Now that's the big one right there, isn't it? Because we have a certain someone in goal that's, let's be honest, way too many of those errors. So, great pass accuracy, 84.7%. Accurate long balls, 204. Long ball accuracy 50.1%. Do you know what? That's not bad, considering what we're used to. Yellow cards 2, red cards 0. That's not bad. Now, I'm going to bring up another player's statistics. Excusez-moi. This is Mr. Petrovic. Okay? Now, shots faced 151. He has saved 111. Okay? A 74.5% save percentage. Now, I'm going to get these up together so you can see what I can see. Okay? So, Petrovic has a better save percentage. He goals conceded 38 to Maignan 41. So then they're not far off. Goals prevented 7.91, goals prevented 3.44. It's tough, isn't it? You know what you're getting with Maignan. I don't speak French. Penalty saves, Maignan's 1 for Petrovic as well. Act as a sweeper 18 for high claim 41. Let's have a look at passes, right? I think that'll make us feel a little bit better because I know that's what Petrovic struggled with when he was at Chelsea, wasn't it? And that's why he got put out on loan, because Maresca likes this play out from the back nonsense. Right. Okay. Maignan, his passing is way better. 84.7 to Petrovic's 78.8%. Now, both same yellow cards. Look, personally, I think Jorgensen, I think he's been all right. I'm not going to say he's been awful. Yeah, I think he gave away that penalty that obviously was not a penalty, but we're going to have to live with that one. I don't think Jorgensen gets enough credit. I think he was brilliant in the Conference League. I don't think he made many mistakes. I think he's been a hell of a lot better than Sanchez. Even towards the end of the season, Sanchez stepped up. I still think Jorgensen has been better than Sanchez. Me personally, I think you need to get rid of them both. I think Jorgensen should go on loan. I think Sanchez should be just sold to whatever mug wants to buy him. And I think you should have Maignan and Petrovic as your 1 and 2 keepers. And I think that gives you the confidence of a Chelsea fan to be like, okay, we've got 2 very good goalkeepers. And I think Maignan will bring something that young keepers can't bring. And that's a level of calmness and just to control that box, and to be a presence. So it's exciting, and I really hope we pull this one through, despite the result for France yesterday. I was watching that going, oh no, let's not buy another waste of money. But then maybe I can see why Chelsea only want to pay X amount of money. But let's be honest, they've been getting deals from us left, right and centre. Pulisic, Loftus-Cheek, Tomori. That's just a few to name off the bat. Right, on to the next one. Cole Palmer, okay, has just taken the number 10 shirt for next season. Makes you feel bad for a certain player, doesn't it? Now look, I like Mudryk. I always like an underdog. I always like to think that a player is going to come through and suddenly just show off this magical ability that we all seem to think he has. What do I think about this whole drug nonsense? I think, look, he's been caught with a substance. There's nothing we can do. It is what it is. And hopefully in time we'll get some information on what will go ahead. But the one thing I'm confused by, and I hope that someone in the comments can explain this one to me, how you can sell a player, because everyone's on about, oh, you're offloading. There's talks of Mudryk being offloaded. Who's going to want to buy a player that can't play football? So if someone can just give me some intel on what that means, that would be great. But yeah, I mean, you got a feel for the man. Mudryk might have turned around and said, look, take my number 10. I'm out for the game for a while, so we really don't know what's going on. But it does also send a message of Chelsea no longer see him as a viable Chelsea player. Therefore, why should you wear the number 10? Cole, being Cole Palmer, massively deserves a number 10. I think, he's played a very different level of football this season. I would say it has been somewhat underwhelming, but I don't think that's all down to him. I think that's the players around him at the same time. You know, with Jackson being so consistently inconsistent, you know, whereas when we had Pochettino, they had this amazing bond and managed to pull off like a Harry Kane and Heung-min Son-esque of goals and assists together as a great partnership. Now, with Jackson, I think if we sign an Ekitike or a Gyökeres, Sesko, quite frankly, can do one. I don't see why Arsenal are so prolific on this guy. He hasn't scored a particularly huge amount of goals in quite a poor league. So, and he doesn't look like quite the profile, not quite a muscly big boy like Liam Delap, who, again, looks great. And wearing the number 9, but we'll get into that. Yeah, I think Jackson is still young. He's still learning. And remember, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not correct, let me just do a little check here. But Jackson was a Nicholas Jackson. I'm pretty sure he was a winger at Villarreal for a lot of the season until there was an injury, which then they pushed him into a striker. And I've always thought about this. If we bring in 2 strikers, and let's say we bring in a left winger like this Jamie Gittins, and I'm not being funny, if you have not seen or heard much of Jamie Gittins, go out there and give him a watch, because he is an exciting player. Not afraid to take on, quick, and boy, can that guy finish. Pause. Why not make Jackson a second winger, not just a striker? You know, if you've got Delap, and let's say you've got Ekitike or a Gyökeres, if we don't look like we can bring in anyone else other than Gittins, or because now Rodrigo's been spoken up again, but let's be honest, I think he will require a very expensive wage that we're just not going to want to pay, especially if you've got the likes of Cole Palmer that aren't on that much money. Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. But yeah, let's go to the number 9. This whole cursed number 9 situation, right? Now, Tammy Abraham was a great number 9. To be honest, I reckon we should have brought him back at some point. He's had his injuries, and let's be honest, he's probably going to have just as good a career if he stays where he is. And do you know what? I couldn't even tell you where he's at. AC Milan right now, I'm pretty sure. That's a guess. That is actually a real guess. I don't know where he is. Where is... do you know what? Who cares? Liam Delap wearing number 9. Now, he bullied us when he played us. He put Chalobah on his bum, right? He sent him on his backside. And he's physical. He's not afraid to put his body on the line. And that's what we need as a striker. I don't think he scores many headers, but I know he scores goals and he knows where the back of the net is, and that is what we need. And I think he's going to have a great season because he has the relationships there. I think when most players come over to a club, you've got to give him a season just to get used to the environment, get used to the new team. But he's had Lavia, Cole Palmer, he's worked under Maresca already. So I've got high hopes for this man. And I hope that us as fans can back him. And I can't wait to do my Premier League predictions. You know, let me know in the comments if you think I should do a Premier League prediction of, you know, top goal scorers and, you know, best young player, best player, all those different things. Also, should I do a Premier League prediction before the end of the transfer window as it stands kind of league, where I think everyone will finish, and then do an updated version once we do the transfer window? You know, I'm going to be following everything from the Club World Cup. I'm going to be following all the transfers. You know, I'm very new to this, so please be patient. You know, please drop a like, please subscribe, you know, because that'll give me some confidence that what I'm doing is right, because I love this football club. And, you know, hopefully one day I can do what George Benson's doing now and be able to go to, you know, somewhere like America and follow the team and vlog it and, you know, bring out the content for you guys. You know, but a big shout out to, you know, Joey Knight Podcast, Football Therapy with Jan, and obviously George Benson. You guys have made me feel like I need to take my obsession and produce some content. So, hopefully I haven't waffled on too much. And I will do my best to bring out as many videos as I possibly can. Again, very new to this. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.